Howdy folks, this morning's soap is from TFS, and as you can tell it says Alaska, and underneath that it says powered by Focus. Got this by the way of the Superior Shave. That's what the soap looks like on the inside there. It's pretty soft. There's 5 ounces of soap in this container here. The scent is, I guess you might say, very cool, a fresh scent. On the website it mentions alpine, which I think that's what I'm picking up with my nose. I think it's got some menthol in with it. Got it whipped up here in my scuttle. Got loads of lather here. This is an ever-ready brush that was reknotted by Frank at Strike Gold Shave. It's got the prototype knot that he's got on at his website there. Got my alum block here. There's witch hazel, and going to follow up with some Barbasol. No more than what this is. You can pick this up for near the $2 range. I like it. I like the menthol, eucalyptus, peppermint, spearmint. I like all those scents. I like the cooling effect on my face. Already put a hot towel to the face, and I'm going to use the Ice pre-shave. While I'm doing all this, I want to mention, I don't know if you can tell, maybe kind of hard to see in the camera, I learned something yesterday, and I didn't really know what all had taken place until after the fact. And there was a gentleman that mentioned it on one of the groups, and it didn't, the light bulb didn't come on until late yesterday. And I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a spot there, and there's some here and over here. I realized what he was talking about, and it took me a moment. I didn't even realize that had even taken place until well after the shave was done and over with yesterday. That he was talking about some sharp edges, and I made the comment that I didn't have any sharp edges on my razor. And just to feel on it, I didn't think that my edges were sharp, but I think I know what was going on now and what he was referring to. Was what I believe what I did yesterday is, if you don't keep the face of that razor flush, in other words, you start to tilt it one side or the other, what I think is happening is that I'm thinking that it's not necessarily the edge of the cap that is scratching. I think it's just a little bit of the edge of the blade is what's actually catching me. And what I'm getting at is that this is a gem micromatic open comb, and I don't know, you might be able to see it there. These stop hooks right here more or less cover the very ends of that blade. And when you look at the Starling, it may be kind of hard to see, but the edge, the very edges right there are not covered. And when I get this a little bit off the face of the plate, I think that's when I'm getting scratches. I really think it's from the blade. I don't think it's from the cap itself. It's definitely not off the base plate. The base plate's pretty smooth, well rounded down there. It's not that. The cap, I can understand where you think you might be getting it, because it is pointed there. But I mean, I didn't think it was sharp or rough or anything like that. Not to the point to do this. And I'm really thinking that it's that very corner there, that just a little bit that sticks out right there, that I'm catching myself with it. It could be the cap, but I'm thinking it's the blade. So something to keep in mind when you're shaving with it, because I was some of the I guess you might say maneuvers, the strokes, how I maneuver the the shaver around my face, I was trying to treat it like it was one of my other gems, in other words, and realized late yesterday that that's probably not the best thing to do until I get a little bit better at keeping that face plate, top of that cap, flat flush against my face, and keep it that way. I can still do the same, you know, in other words, when I come down and around or something like that, I just got to make sure it stays flat, and if it doesn't stay flat, then I know I need to either adjust from there or not do it. And I'm thinking today, since I'm kind of scratched up, this is the most tender spot, so I might stop a little short of that, and to give myself a little bit more time to heal. I don't know if I'm going to go with a 3-pass shave today. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to do a 2-pass shave, maybe a touch-up or something like that. Speaking of that, that's what could have happened yesterday, in that Monday I got a really good shave with this gold base plate. Very close, very efficient. Tuesday, I didn't really have a whole lot there that needed to be, you know, taken off. I could have done a quote-unquote touch-up pass on Tuesday morning and been just fine. So the plate itself, in my opinion, I really like it. To a degree, I feel like it's even smoother than the blue plate, and maybe it's because it's more efficient and I'm getting more off my face, and it just, you know, feels smoother when it does that. But at any rate, just depends on maybe on what your needs are. But either one of these plates, I'm thinking one of them ought to suit your needs. But this is you have to be careful, because right down there, that's where I'm getting my have to pay attention. In other words, it's if you don't get that that plate just right, at least my experience is that you're gonna catch one of them corners. Right then, you have to keep it. I think that's what it is. You have to keep it perpendicular. You get a little bit sideways. So in other words, if you keep it like that, you're doing all right. But if you get it like this, either way, I think that's where I'm getting my scratches from. Also, I was watching one of the videos, Darth Moth on YouTube. He was speaking of a spacer, and with either one of these plates, the gold plate's thicker than the blue, but when you go to put it together, sometimes it looks like when you go to tighten it down, the nose has a tendency to come up just a bit, and he put a spacer in his to help hold that down to a minimum. Yeah, I'm a little leery around now, since I have a fairly decent idea of what I was doing wrong. Just looking out of the corner of my eye, it's a little bit blurry, and I may end up sneezing here in a moment. Excuse me. I knew it was coming. Any rate, fun stuff. Learning about the shaver. I think once you figure out how to keep it flush, you'll be fairly happy with your shave. get cattywampus on you. This pre-shave, I like the, like I say, that cooling effect on my face, even during the winter. If anything, even more so during the winter. It's kind of that wake-up call, if you will. Get you good and get your eyes open. Even with the warm lather. One thing I probably should mention, if you're looking at getting a scuttle, it may take a time or two to adjust how you make your lather in it, because with the warm water you may need to add just a tad bit more water to the to your lather, because your scuttle's warm, and it affects your consistency of your soap. The other day I had one that was somewhat thicker than what I normally would whip it up as, and it was a little dry for me. So if you like yours a little bit more on the wet side, you'll have to adjust how much water you normally would use. Going against the grain. I think I might have to do just a little one right there. That part right there has always been a trouble spot. I'm trying not to scratch myself. You can kind of tell this. Talking about a clog proof. It does not clog up at all. Not at all. It didn't clog. If there's a, hey, I guess you might say a shining spot, in my opinion, for those that are trying to get a quick shave in, as you can tell, there's plenty of room for that lather just to work right on through. Definitely want to be mindful of the corners, because it's easy. Get it loose, turn just a little ways. If you're trying to do something at an angle, a pass at an angle, and that's what I was trying to do. Quite haven't mastered that with this shaver just yet. And it doesn't matter, like I say, with gold plate, blue plate, it doesn't matter. Oh, I should say this is with the Treet blade. And Thursday, Friday, and Saturday I'll be using a Tcheon blade, and you can find those blades. I believe this is how you pronounce it, Ted Pella. You person can get come in a pack of 200. This is what the bottom looks like, as it goes for the sticker that I've got on the bottom of my pack. You get 200 of these. I think they're $35.99, $34.99, something like that. This is what the front looks like, and it's a 3-facet, and the 3-facet is what the one you want. And so there's a product number that's on the website, and it's the 121-3, and show that again. It's that number right there, up there at the top, that product number. That's the number you're going to be hunting for. Like I said, they come in 200, and I think that figures out, without shipping, if I remember right, I think it was like 18 cents. That's not bad. 18 cents per blade for some great shaving. if you're liking the ones that are Teflon coated. That's PTFE, I think is what it is. Don't know that I got any more scratches. I may have gotten one while ago. But for the most part, I think I did alright this morning. Yeah, right there. It is a tough spot to get. It's very well possible that I could do the 2-pass shave with this one and be quite alright. It'll be an awful lot like a shavette. In other words, it's socially acceptable. Get all that out. I don't think I got any new spots. I think these are leftovers from yesterday. I know this soap feels really good. This is pretty creamy, and feels like it's how can you say, moisturizing. I like the coolness of the soap. I guess in a way, at least per my nose, that the scent is light. I think that may be the reason why I'm thinking that also is because I'm still got the cooling effect on my face, along with that pre-shave is a good combination. And the cooling effect that I still have on my face, it's kind of, I guess you might say, overshadowing any scent that I might be trying to pick up with my nose. I can tell you this much though, face feels good. I mean, this goes for how the post-shave feel, that soap. Now I know the other day my face was lit up like a Christmas tree with the alum block. Like I say, there is a learning curve with this one. Kind of see the redness going on. Kind of figured that I got some spots over there that I was, like I say, got to keep it, for me at least, it seems like if I get it at an angle just right, not flush against the face, I end up getting these scratches, and I think that's, I'm pretty sure it's operator error. Learning curve. I got a few of them. These yesterday are still there. Last night when I came home from work, these were, oh, they were really red. Very angry. There's. So when I got home last night, I put some Nivea on my face just to hope that it helped calm it down and soothe it just a tad bit. Might end up doing that after the shave too. Oh, I should show you that Tcheon Micromatic. I got it in a case like this right here. Got one for your used blades, bank for your new blades. Pretty nice. I like this case. It doesn't, if it helps any at all, my face looks worse than it feels. It doesn't feel bad at all, but just, boy, it did get scratched up last time. Barbasol. This one here is the Pacific Rush. If you look down below, there's some links. And this one here, I noticed that the Pacific Rush, I didn't see it on the website at Dollar General, but it does have the Brisk, the green one. And I had seen somewhere where somebody had thought that they stopped making uh, the Pacific Rush, and that might be the case. I have not been in a Dollar General in a while, because when I went and got these, I got 2 of each. So in other words, I haven't had a need to go hunt one down. So one of these days I need to stop by Dollar General and see if if that's the case, that they're not carrying and or making the Pacific Blue, which is, they had the shaving cream, same scent. That's too bad. Overall, I got a pretty good shave. It sure doesn't look like it. Face is a little red. kind of, I was thinking about not even shaving today. I might do that tomorrow. Give my face a chance to heal up. But it's this part down here is the worst part of it. Well, I sure did get myself yesterday. Not a nick or a cut. It didn't even bleed. It's a scratch. At any rate, still having fun shaving. Hope everything is going well with you guys. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.